podcast. Saeed is here.
What's going on, y'all? This is Will. I thought you was gonna say more.
I was gonna say more, but yeah, man. We're back. Creative Collision podcast here, new episode. Saeed and Will here. So we're recording this, a couple days after Kobe's passing. So, obviously this is big. A big deal. So this is obviously what we're going to be talking about on this podcast. We might get into other topics that have been going on outside of this, but that will be like a separate episode. This podcast episode is going to be strictly about Kobe and just everything about Kobe, man. Like his legacy, what he meant for me, what he meant for a lot of people, and his passing, man. So I don't know if you're ready to speak on it. If you want to start it off, but I'm just gonna go with the first thing I want to talk about is obviously it's very sad for the NBA community, for everybody. We're all like still shooken up about it. At the time of recording this podcast, it's been 3 days since he passed away. So I mean, I'm not sure when I'm gonna upload this, and it should be shortly after this, but just letting you guys know on the recordings, this is 3 days after he passed away. We're going live on Instagram because we want to see anybody's reactions that want to say anything. So I'm live on my Instagram for this topic as well. So I don't know, man. First of all, when you heard the news, where were you and what was your initial reaction?
Dude, when I first heard the news, I was actually, what was I doing? I was in my room. And it sucked too because I was having problems with my cell phone. My fucking SIM card was going bad. So some messages weren't getting through and some were. Yeah. So when I asked you guys, I wasn't even sure if it was like a late message or not because I wasn't sure if the news was right or not. Yeah. Like I just saw like people posting that on like Instagram, but I didn't see any like official news and like outlets like Shade Room. I didn't see the Shade Room have that on their page at the time. So I was like, oh, this is probably just some false stuff going around, Yeah. But then, when you guys, I think you both texted me at the same time saying, like, this is really going on. And I was like, I don't know, dude. It just really makes you think, like death doesn't discriminate, Yeah. Like, I don't know. It really brought back a sense of just how, your mortality, Because it's like, I don't know. Like you don't picture that story ending that way for an icon like that.
You don't picture that. You didn't picture that happening to somebody like him because like we saw him as like a superhero. Like he was immortal to us. It even like he was Superman. Mm-hmm. Like Kobe doesn't die. You know what I mean? Like,
and I don't think we saw that though. I don't think we ever saw like a I don't know, like a legend, like in like.
No, we never. It's never happened. This has never happened, and in basketball, this has never happened. First of all, and then like just in sports history, this is very rare. Like, I was watching with the First Things First. Nick Wright. I don't know if you know who Nick Wright is. He's actually he was like a big Kobe hater. But now he's like respecting him, which is I don't know, it's a whole other thing. But it's not that he never thought he was a great player at all. But he just he's a LeBron guy, so he was always taking little shots at him. Yeah. But he still still knows how great he was and all that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, that's all part of the game too.
Yeah, of course. So, it's competition.
My bad.
No, but what he brought up was a crazy point where he said that Kobe is there's only been 3 MVPs that have ever died. Mm-hmm. Will Chamberlain, Moses Malone, and then Kobe now. In the history of the NBA, right? And Will Chamberlain and Moses Malone were in their 60s already. Mm-hmm. They still died young, technically, but they're like 6 years old, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Average person's I think 60, 70, right?
Yeah, the average is 70 something. I don't know, but they died kind of a little bit young, but they were in their 60s. Mm-hmm. and Kobe's now the third MVP to ever. You know, the NBA's been around for like 60, 70 years, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the NBA is like 75 years old.
Yeah.
And there's only been 3 MVPs that have ever died. Now, and Kobe's by far the youngest. You know, like Bill Russell's still alive, bro. Like the first ever MVP is still alive.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like that's why it's so like.
Dude, I was just about to say that, like, fucking the Hall of Fame now.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that. That crossed my mind. Yeah.
All that's gonna change now. I don't know. It's gonna be, cause how could the rest of them celebrate? Like, you know, getting like.
Well, they're still gonna do the inductions. Mm-hmm. You know, with everybody else, and then
I mean,
Kobe,
like just the mood of it. You know.
Oh, of course, the mood's gonna be totally different. You know. I'm sure they're gonna do some sort of big ceremony, like where they're gonna have multiple people speak. I don't know about Vanessa speaking, because I don't think she's the type of person. I don't know if she's the type of person that can go on the stage and like. I feel like she would break down so hard. Like, I don't know if she would. Like, it'd be. Yeah, I would love to her like to go on stage and like accept like the Hall of. Obviously, like. Kobe was gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer regardless. That wasn't the issue, the point. But like, we were so looking forward to his speech. That's like a big deal. You know, you play you work your whole life to get to this point, become a like all-time great player, and then like that Hall of Fame speech is like, you're a crowning. Yeah. You know, you're amongst the greats of the greats officially. You know, put in that class, and you know, I would love to see Kobe's speech on that. But now I don't know. I feel like. They're gonna honor him in some sort of way where like maybe Shaq is gonna speak on it. Jerry West, I feel like, will say something magic.
That's fucked up. We don't get his Hall of Fame speech.
We don't, man. That's sad. Yeah, I got taken away, man. A lot of stuff got taken away. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. It's. And I've already cried like the last 3 days thinking about it and just watching people's stories and just thinking about everything, man. So I wanted to go live on this podcast just so you guys can see like a raw emotions to it. Rocking, you know, my Kobe number 8 jersey that I have, like, and yeah, man, like it was sad, man. When I first heard it, I was at work, man. I was at work, and I was in the middle of like helping a customer at work, and so like Junior pulls me to the side. Well, Junior, so like I'm with a customer, and then Junior's like, he's on his phone, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like trying to tell me something, like, but since I'm
this is how you first heard it?
This is how I first heard it, yeah.
Oh shit.
So like he's trying to like get my attention, like, oh, come look at this. Yeah. And usually, and you know Junior, so usually when he tells me something like that, it's because he wants to show me something funny on his phone, or he's trying to like, you know, he's trying to show me something on like something else, right? Like I'm ignoring him, like I'm with the customer, what the fuck, like, were you trying to get my attention? And then so I ignore him, you know, initially, and then like he kind of goes like around the corner where like the customer can't see me. So it's kind of like now he's like off to the side, kind of okay, can I ask you something real quick? Oh, kind of like tell you something real quick. On that level, right? So then, all right, whatever. Like, I go over, and then he shows me the phone, and it's a TMZ report. This is literally like 4 minutes after it was 4 minutes after TMZ posted. Like, not that long after TMZ posted it. And then he's showing me, you know, Kobe is dead, and helicopter crash. And I'm immediately like teary eyed, and I'm like, "Dog, like, don't fuck with me. Like, that's not true. Like, don't fuck with me. No, like, don't mess. You know, like, I'm like." Don't fucking bro. Don't mess with me. You know, like on that, like this is not like true. Like I don't want to believe it, but at the same time, I know it's probably true because TMZ's never really wrong on this type of shit. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm hoping they got hacked or whatever. So I'm like, I go back to finish up with my customer, and I'm trying to like put it in the back of my mind, back of my head. So like, I finish up with them. And then everybody there, you know, like we're all like my manager was there, who was a big Kobe fan. So we're all like trying to see if it's real. So I finish up with my customer. I go into the break room, the back in the back, and we're all like trying to like find out if it's real for sure. So we're like, TMZ first reported it. They're always out ahead of it quick, and then we're still like, I'm still like just holding hope that they got hacked or whatever, it was fake. And then like 30 minutes pass, 45 minutes pass, and then ESPN reports it. Adrian Wojnarowski reports it, and then I'm like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
This shit's.
Did your heart sink?
No, dude, that whole day after that, my heart felt like it was in, the bottom of my stomach, whatever. When you're nervous or anxious, that feeling you get when your stomach's feeling like, yeah. And that was, and I was just holding it in the rest of the day, man, because I was still at work. We're all like, fuck, dude, like, we're trying to get through it, try not to think about it. If I immediately like thought about it, I would get teary eyed, and I'm like, I gotta at least hold this shit until I get home. Like, fuck,
Yeah.
And so it was crazy. It's gonna be one of those days where you're always gonna remember where you're at.
How was like the vibe when you're at your job? Was everybody like, did the customers come in?
I don't think the customers. Well, the people that came in didn't know. Because they were just, I don't know, like when it happened when I found out about it, when it first came out, I don't think customers really knew.
Mm-hmm.
So the customers, I was just treating, like I didn't even want to bring it up. But the vibe around us that day on Sunday.
None of the customers, like you couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell. None of my customers, at least.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I didn't even. I couldn't tell none of my customers.
I bet you like the aura in that room felt just off, just like.
Well, us as employees, because that all the guys were working that day.
Mm-hmm.
It was all men, like all the like and like so, and it was all the Laker fans were there. That was me, my manager, my other coworker. Like it was all the sport guys, man. So it wasn't the customers. I don't know. We were just going through the fucking day or whatever. Like I didn't even want to bring it up to them, because if I brought it up to them, I would have fucking started crying and started in that moment. So I was like, so it was just amongst us as like me and my coworkers. It was just like where we were just like watching shit, like breaking news, and like trying to put it together. Like we will finish with a customer, like, and then we would go back in the back room and like fucking try to like keep it together, like on that, like fuck, and we just didn't want to believe it. Like we were just so. It was that initial shock too. Like it wasn't even like sadness right away. Like it's like when you're so sad, you don't really like, you're just shocked. You can't process it, right? That was kind of how I felt. Like you just don't know how to fucking feel, man, because you don't want to believe it. It doesn't sound real. Like Kobe Bryant dead. Like it doesn't sound like a real thing. Like it just doesn't sound like.
It makes you seem like. I don't know. It just kind of made it seem like, really, what point is there to like life when it's like it can really just be gone like that to like on the highest of levels, though, because like exactly. you forget, like, they're so high, you, like you said, you just don't think something like that will happen, so like you just kind of think of him as immortal, and then when it brings it down to you, like, and it's not even that he just passed, like he died in an accident, so it's like, it just really makes you see that. Like, when it even comes to how you're gonna go, it's anybody's. It's anybody's call.
Yeah.
Even just the way you leave here.
Yeah.
Your story doesn't necessarily mean, no matter how great you are, that it's gonna be a peaceful one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It puts into, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a guy that, like, he played through every injury. Walked on his own 2 feet with a torn Achilles. You know what I mean? Like, this was the toughest motherfucker. Like he was. That's what. Like, he was a superhero. Like, nothing can hurt this guy. And to see his life, like, in just an instant, like, go away, and it makes you.
See, that's why I wanted to like put you guys on the video, like sharing that, because like I didn't even think about that. Like, you're right. A guy who had a career, like, not like.
The toughest motherfucker I've ever seen. The most
to go out like this.
Yeah.
I didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to like have you guys like, you know, go in there and talk about it, because like even when you was giving the story about like how much more important like Jerry West really was to the organization, and how you were saying like, you know, a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
And he was just telling me about like how like pivotal he was in getting Kobe on there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, man. It just put it all into perspective when you think about how like fragile life can be, and how like, you know, everybody has a day, and you can be, you know, the greatest athlete in the world. You can be this guy that we looked at like as, you know, a superhero, took care of his body, like was, you know, smartest, most like intellectual person like we ever heard speak, and like, you know, like the way he trained, the way he took care of himself, the injuries he fought through, the level of like of pain like threshold he had, like to do the shit that he did, like he always came through for us, you know. And then to see somebody like that die is like, fuck, man. If Kobe can die, I mean, we can
That's
vanish,
what I'm saying,
you know what
right?
I mean?
That's
like
what
nothing, you know.
That's what I kind of felt like too. Like we kind of like we really are like just, you know, speck of dust ready to get blown away, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's like, it's crazy, man. It's like if somebody like us, like I don't know, man, like if like you see like in movies where like you know, a superhero dies but they always come back, type of thing, and you know, like this life ain't a movie, you know, like it's you know, you wish it was like that, but like it's you just want to say it was like it was a dream, or
I heard
real, man.
Jessica Simpson had released some photos of the crash, because like that's how close it was towards her house. I didn't see the photos, but I was just thinking like, you know, did they have their time to say their last goodbyes? Would like, did everything happen so quick? You know, because I mean, wasn't there like a fire explosion? So it's like,
well, that's from we don't know exactly, but from what I read, from what I've heard is that like it was so foggy that the pilot was just like hovering around, like going in circles for like 15 minutes, trying to get like directed the air traffic controller to direct him on where to go, where to fly, right?
Yeah.
And he was just hovering around on and it was so foggy, he kind of just stayed he just kept flying in a circle.
Like, I heard he wasn't supposed to go up though. I heard like a lot of like other people, I guess, what do you call them, pilots or aviators or whatnot.
Well, no, I think it was a police department shut down like
the news station, I think it was.
Well, they shut down their flying. They're like, it's too foggy. Don't fly. It's too foggy to fly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, legit professionals who do it all the fucking time decided not to fly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's too foggy. Don't fly. And I don't know if by that time it was too late because they're already in the air, or if like they're like, you know, whatever. Like, fuck it. Like we're still gonna risk it because I don't know. I mean, we don't really know exactly. But like that was the story that it was too foggy to fly. So all the other helicopters like no, or you know, we can't fly right now, but they're I don't know, they were in thick of the fog, and from what I'm guessing is it came out of nowhere. Like it's not like I think what it sounds like is like they were in the middle, they couldn't see where they were flying, and all of a sudden they hit a mountain. It wasn't like they saw it wasn't. I don't think it was this where they were out of control, and I think the pilot had control, and he just didn't know where he was flying to though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. Whether he had control or not, you know, it's like even if he had control of the helicopter, if you can't see where you're going, that doesn't matter, you know. So like, I thought how I kind of heard it, I thought it had to more so do with. He was like ignoring like the warning signs, or like Because I don't know the terms that they use. I heard, like, they checked something and they saw that it was going to be too foggy, and that's why they decided to land,
Yeah, they told him to turn back around and go back, fly back. It's too foggy. Like, go turn around. And he kept going for it. So I don't know if, like maybe, like, he was just like, I got to get these. There's a couple stories about, like, was he pressured to get them to the game because this is Kobe and his daughter, and maybe the pilot felt like, I have to get him there because this is my job. You know what I mean? Like, he kind of, there's
okay, because this is what I was thinking too though. So with that pilot, it wasn't like, does Kobe have like a normal pilot who like flies him or no?
Kobe has been flying in helicopters for years.
But does he have like a standard pilot?
He's had multiple different ones. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not that I'm like know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure this is not the first time he's used that guy as a pilot. You know, I'm pretty sure like he's probably from what I with him, right? I'm pretty sure he's familiar with him, and from what I've read, that pilot had flown multiple celebrities around like for his career, and he's a highly respected pilot. Like that was even taught other people. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know, because like you said, there could have been that pressure of, I gotta get Kobe to the game and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Or it could have been like a little bit of pride, him thinking he could do it anyway.
It could have been. It could have been all that
Kobe
shit.
trusting him because, like you said, he's familiar with the dude. So, like, he's telling him, I could do this. I could do this. I don't know. I'm not saying that's the case.
We'll never know. We'll never know. But it could have been a multitude of those things. Yeah,
because I don't want to sound like I'm like trying to blame him or anything like that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like
it honestly, what it sounds like to me, just an honest mistake from like a professional, man.
Yeah, right.
Like, this is a guy that's been flying for.
He probably did think he can get through it. He probably, like you said, he's been doing it. Yeah, like he's experienced. He's seasoned.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's sad. It just sounds like an honest mistake by a guy that's very good at what he does, and he just made a mistake. And a tragic mistake at that, man. And there's certain jobs. There's certain jobs where you can make a mistake. You can make a mistake, and you'll be fine because your life is you don't have a job that you're putting your life on the line for. You know what I mean?
And there's those other jobs. Just that one.
Yeah, you can be.
That's all it takes.
You can be the greatest person at your job, and you might make a mistake every once in a while, but like you're mistaking fatal. Yep. And this is somebody that like his profession was like, if you make a mistake, it's fatal. It can be the end of you. And it sounds like that's what happened, man. It's tragic, man. It's sad because I was telling my coworkers that like flying in a helicopter for Kobe, flying in a helicopter was like driving for us. You know what I mean? Yeah. He did it so often. He did it every day. This is how he got to and from games when he was a Laker. Like so it's fucking a routine ass shit, man. Routine ass.
But
routine ass thing for him,
I wonder if this is gonna also affect like just the whole helicopter business as far as like celebrities taking it, because like I started hearing more and more about celebrities doing that now though.
I'm sure a lot of celebrities
taking helicopters instead of dealing with the traffic now and stuff.
So in LA, of course, man. Like these people are fucking millionaires.
If I could, I would.
Yeah, if you have money for a helicopter, you're gonna fucking use a helicopter. You know what I mean?
Traffic is fucking terrible.
Exactly. That's what's.
Shit. That's what I'm saying. I would have too. And now I'm wondering if it's gonna like affect that. If things gonna really change. Like
it might, man. It might scare people, man. Right? It might put people in this like situation where they're just feeling traumatic from it. I don't know if I want to fly anytime soon. And I'm not scared of flying. Like I've been on a helicopter multiple times. Not a helicopter, but a fucking airplane. Multiple times, and
I've only been on there a number of times, and I'm still. Yeah. It's weird though, because as younger, I wasn't afraid of them, but as I got older, now I realize like, stuff can happen, So,
yeah. When you get on a helicopter and airplane, you're putting your whole life is in the hands of one person, the fucking pilot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy. You're it's very rare moments in your life when like one person has control of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And those are like the only times in your life really that like one person has real control over your life, you know. Like,
if you think about it though, every time we hop in the car with somebody and we're not driving.
True. Yeah, that's very true.
Basically what I was saying about the funeral too was that I was saying that I would think emotions are probably going to be more heavier around that time. Yeah. Like, you know how we were saying, we're not sure if it'll be more of a celebration type of thing, celebrate his life, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, since this is such a out of the nowhere thing, you know, accident that happened. Yeah. I just feel like the time to process it probably going to be longer. Because, like, you know how, like, at first, like you said, it wasn't sad, it wasn't nothing. Like, you have to just let it process, you know? Imagine those even closer to him. Like, they're probably still haven't even processed it completely, you know?
Of course.
So, man, like, come that time, you know, after having more time to process what they have.
Think about people like, heavy, people man. like, you know, like us, people like me, people that never even met the guy and how fucking fucked up we are. Imagine, like, just imagine Vanessa, man, like, fuck, dude. Yeah, or imagine like just his family and like the people closest to him, Shaq. That's what I'm saying. Like Jerry West. Every time I see Jerry West talk, this shit breaks me, man. And just this is gonna be one of those things where like I was telling my girlfriend earlier, like kind of like a little bit like Tupac, where like to this day, like we still talk about like his passing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, even people that, you know, I was 5 years old when Tupac died. Mm-hmm. So I don't remember that shit. But, like, you still hear people talk about, like, damn, when Tupac died. Like, people that are older than us talk about that shit, like, to us, right? Like, damn, no, like, you know. So when we get older and then we're talking to, like, kids that, like, are, like, too young to remember this time when Kobe died, we're going to talk about him the same way, like, man, like, when he died, like immortalized through death. And it's something that like we're never gonna like. NBA will never be the same, man. It just won't. Like I don't know, man. It's like we'll heal over time. We'll definitely like learn to appreciate. Like we already appreciate Kobe, but like we're gonna be, you know, over time we'll move on, but it's going to be one of those things where like 5, 10, 15 years from now, we're still going to like remember this day, remember that day he passed, and we're always going to be like, you know, it just, I don't know,
it's man. Crazy because like even deaths like, let's say Michael Jackson, you don't even think that, like how Michael Jackson died.
How he died?
Yeah, like
he died like in the hospital or what?
No, exactly. It wasn't exactly, but Kobe's. You're never going to forget that. You're never going to forget that. You're going to know exactly how he passed, you know? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
no, you are. Because it was so tragic. Like, even, like, I was saying, a lot of people kind of brought up Michael Jackson, too. And when Michael Jackson died, I remember, it was like, what, 2009? I think, 2010, 2010. Yeah. And I remember, like, him dying, everybody talking about it. But I don't remember, like this, man.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Like it was.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's only a very few people in the world who have that type of effect, you know. Yeah. And Kobe was one of them.
Yeah. Because musicians die young often. Yeah. You know, like Michael Jackson. Club, yeah, like Kurt Cobain, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was 50, so he wasn't like super old either. Prince wasn't that old.
Yeah, he wasn't. You know, Prince, exactly how Prince died.
It was kind of like a mix up in the air. Like,
I can't even remember right now.
So he was sick and he had ailments.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's different because we kind of like, okay, you hear this person's sick and you hear like, you know, you kind of try to get yourself like mentally ready for it because you know that they're sick.
Nah, nobody didn't know that about Prince. That didn't come out until after he died. Nobody knew what was going on. Because
I heard a podcast that said they saw him at a concert and he looked sick, so I'm just going off of what, you know, they saw like he was ailing, whatever. But
I thought I remember it being a shock too for everybody, even like when they heard it, you know. But I don't remember it being like you said, like to this level, like it's like one of those things. All right, so it's like a September 11th. It's like a nation like really got hit with something like that. It's like you're always gonna remember.
You're always gonna you are,
you know?
and I know like I don't want to September 11 was much horrible. You know what I mean?
No, that's not what
I know that. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like, but I get what you're saying. Like you're always gonna remember where you were when you heard the news.
When you heard the news. Yeah.
Like I remember where I was when Michael Jackson died, but it didn't hit me like that because I wasn't like I'm too young to really experience that. I knew I knew Michael Jackson.
You grew up on the second half of Michael Jackson.
Yeah. But I do remember 9/11, even though I was younger than when Michael Jackson passed. I still remember everything about 9/11.
You remember the situation?
Yeah, exactly. I remember I was in 5th grade. I remember going to school in the morning. I remember like my friend, his name was I think Talmaj. Like I remember everything about that fucking day, right? And it's gonna be like one of those fucking days. There was another day where somebody passed that people brought up too.
John F. Kennedy when he got assassinated.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure like when this is similar to probably when the reaction nationwide when JFK passed and Martin Luther King. Yeah. It's gonna be like that, man. It's crazy.
I can't think of any other ones right now, but.
This is the first time a basketball player on this level, this big,
Hey, you know what's crazy? How they're thinking about changing the logo.
I think they should.
Yeah, that'd be so dope. But like the ones who have his jersey, like before the change, like that's gonna be like Well,
a lot of players have changed their people they're wearing 8 and 24. They're not wearing it no more. Spencer Dinwiddie from the Brooklyn Nets. He was he wore number 8 and he's changing it to 26. And then there's a bunch of players. They're all retiring. They're not wearing number.
The original jersey with the original logo and all that. Like that's gonna be like a classic now. Cause like it's already like a classic jersey because it's Kobe's retired numbers. But it's like. Now, like if the logo does change, the newer jerseys that will have his stuff on there, would they have that new logo on there? Or would they keep it original? That's what I'm saying. If they switch it, then that's like, if you have the Kobe with the original logo, that's like
Well, but what do you mean, like? Because on the NBA logo, you don't see the number. You saying like?
No, I'm saying the logo.
Yeah, it was not on here, but the NBA logo, which is Jerry West.
Yeah,
if they change that, they're gonna change that to Kobe. You mean?
No, isn't it on? It's on the jersey too, though.
Well, on this one, it might not be on it because this one was like the one that was given from the game. I got this at the Laker game.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they.
Hold on, man. From spot me, you got the Terrace right here.
That's from Laker game plan.
All right. Yeah, I could have sworn it's on the jersey too, though.
No, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like any newer jerseys that have Kobe, like.
Oh, because that's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say, damn, am I like retarded right now? I was like, oh shit. I could have sworn the logo was on the jersey.
I
don't know. Yeah.
Shit, man. What do you think? What do you think his legacy? Like, what do you think is? Were you a Kobe fan like that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not that I wasn't a Kobe fan.
I know you were a Laker fan for like a while.
No, I was late. I was late to the Laker fan thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I
don't even know who you like anymore, player, man.
Yeah, no, like, I don't know, cause like me, like, I don't know. I'm not really solidified to teams, like that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm saying like. More so the players,
Nowadays, you don't really even fuck with basketball anymore.
Yeah,
but like back then.
Exactly. Back then, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. I don't want to say like I was a Laker fan like how you guys were, Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say I was that type of Laker fan,
Yeah.
There's even times when I went against them. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to lie right now, But it's not, that's what I'm saying, though. But even in those times, like, I still understood Kobe's greatness,
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, like, I like how Doc Rivers said it. He said no matter who your team is, who you're going for, you're all Laker fans today. You know what I'm saying? Like tonight, after this, or he said today or tonight. One of those.
Doc Rivers was so shook.
Yeah. So was his son too, Austin.
Yeah. No, but yeah, man. Like, what I think his legacy is gonna be more like it's the whole mama mentality, man. Like, you just never half-assed shit. Earlier today, I don't know if you ever saw Muse, his documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching that earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
That shit hits different now, man.
Damn.
That shit hits so different, man. Like, in the beginning, like, he just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's almost kind of like he had this eerie feeling like he kind of planned his death.
Damn.
I don't want to say that he wanted to die or whatever. Well, I don't know if you saw Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that
Kobe
one.
told him he wanted to die.
But that
die young. Yeah.
That, like, I think she said it too. What was her name? The host that was there.
Was it Rachel Nichols or something?
Yeah, whatever her name is. She said it too. Like, you could kind of hear that more so like in his younger days, but not in like his family days type of thing. Like, yeah. I couldn't picture him saying that now.
Yeah.
You know, maybe back then. You know,
yeah.
that killer instinct. You know, killer instinct. But like. But just saying, like, to immortalize his legacy and whatnot, and yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's something he'd say today. You know.
Well, you watched, and you probably wouldn't have, but you watched his final game because they aired his final game on ESPN. Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole game just seems like he was gone. Like it felt like this person is like if you I was watching that game at work. And I'm like, he's like Mamba out. Like, I love you guys. It's kind of like this, like, I'm not going to be here anymore. And you had, it was just eerie, man. Like, and the way, like, where LeBron passed him in scoring, and then he died the day after that.
That's right.
And then LeBron gave, I don't know if you saw LeBron's post-game interview after that game.
I didn't see it, but I heard people talking about how he's talking past tense.
Yeah, it felt like he was talking past tense. This is literally like 10 hours before Kobe dies.
I gotta see it.
And LeBron is just like talking about how like, how like Kobe, when I first met him, I was 15 years old. He gave me his shoes, and then I wore his shoes against Carmelo the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And like how like he went to basketball camp and he was like talking to all the kids there, and I took in everything, and LeBron was just talking. It felt like the way LeBron was talking, it felt like he already had died. It was just crazy, like how all this shit. Like,
I want to say, does it feel like that only because like wouldn't it make sense that it, in a way, it's kind of like because they're talking to him in past tense because he's gone from the NBA, not from the world, but from the NBA, so that's why like now the tone of it switches, because it's like now he's actually gone,
Yeah. No, that's what they. I think, it just came across that way. Still, it was just weird,
Oh no, okay, because like what I thought you were referring to, like how like some people were trying to say like, I think I saw a few posts like this online about Illuminati stuff, sacrifice. So I thought that's what you're alluding to.
No, fuck no.
Yeah, I was like,
fuck all that shit's so stupid.
Yeah,
man, like. Fuck nah. I'm not talking about none of that shit. I'm just talking about how it just how eerie and like it was to like when you hear him talk now, it just sounds like this guy that was, I don't know. Fuck, I hate all this conspiracy shit, man. People, and I hate how quick people are to jump on that shit right away.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like
it's almost like it's their way to try to make reason for something, Like,
this guy literally just died. Like a wife is like without a husband. She lost a fucking daughter, and then like the first thing you guys do is like talk about conspiracies. Like, man, you know what I mean? Like, fuck all that, man. That shit. I don't know that shit.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost being thrown around now because it's like
end of life.
Yeah, just
or the last thing we said was like like you're the conspiracy people, all the conspiracy theorists. I feel like this. First of all, it's like if that's your first reaction to something like this happening, like you're fucked up in the head. Like
something
like this, not just Kobe dying. Kobe, like, you know, a whole 9 people died. Kobe, his daughter, you know, 2 other families with their kids. You know, there was 3 other girls and another
there's a whole other family there, man.
And the first thing you try to first thing you do is just like talk about fucking Illuminati conspiracy bullshit. Like, fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, these are people, man. Like, fucking people tragically died. Not, you know, it's, you know, human beings tragically died in a helicopter accident, and the first thing you're going to is like fucking.
No, this had to do with voodoo magic.
Yeah, cause it was some Illuminati sacrifice. Like, shut the fuck up, like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But...
you taking a tragic incident into a dark place, you know.
Yeah.
And a make believe one at that, you know.
Yeah.
To satisfy whatever type of you know.
That's
what
we didn't. Felt like we should have said it earlier, but R.I.P. to not just Kobe, and Gianna, his daughter, but all the other families involved in this, man. It was just tragic, man. There's other people that, you know, lost a lot of, you know, a lot of lives were lost. 9 people total, and hearts out to all the family members. Yeah. And all the people involved in the situation. So I don't want to I don't want to overlook them like that, because, you know, it's hard not to, because this is Kobe, this is our guy, but, like, you know, at the end of the day, we're all just human beings, and nine human beings, 9 people lost their lives, and some young girls that, you know, were just barely starting to live their lives. So the whole shit's just sad. One of the guys was a baseball coach.
Yeah, I know.
And Junior's friend, that was his coach. He played baseball, and that was one of his coaches, man. So it was.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's got. I apologize for not I'm sorry for not remembering his name at this moment, but, like, he was like a legend in, like, the baseball, like, coaching circuit and for college. So, like, it's sad, man.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard, like, he was a college coach, a baseball coach and all that, but I didn't really hear his story, you know.
Yeah, he was a highly respected coach, man. Like,
rest in peace to him and the other families as well. It's, you know, because Vanessa, she has to deal with losing her husband and her daughter. Yeah, dude. And then the husband has to deal with losing his wife and his daughters. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of them.
Well, a whole family. Well, mother and.
No, because I
father think, and mother, you know, died. So there was I think another sister that wasn't on the helicopter.
I thought the father
that's
survived.
foster now.
No, I thought the father survived.
One of them. That's a different. I think that's the third family.
Oh, damn.
I want to say. Fuck. Let me look this up. I don't want to be wrong about this shit on the podcast. Because I'm pretty sure, from what I remember, it was husband and wife and their kid and their daughter.
Yeah.
And then they had another daughter at home.
Damn, hold on.
So I think another 2 daughters at home that now they're foster kids.
Cause I could have sworn I was seeing an interview with one of them where he was saying that, you know, he has to explain to his daughters why they don't have a mother.
Yeah, but I think that was the third.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Imagine her sisters, man.
Yeah, exactly. I heard that the oldest sister was so, like, shooken up that she couldn't breathe, and they had to take her to the hospital.
Yeah, no, that happens. Yeah. Like, when people get under, like,
she was
extreme...
so fucking, like,
I can't even. No, I believe it though, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't even, like.
Imagine being a 17-year-old girl, and then bro. You know your fucking dad and your little sister are dead. Yeah, dude.
In a helicopter. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, I can believe, like, probably more than once. You know that happened. You know, like where she went into that type of shock. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine being in that situation personally, you know, but I could definitely see how news like that will take out anybody, you know, no matter how old you are. Because that's such a traumatic emotion that you gotta try to go through, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, it's like one of the worst things you can wish. Yeah. You know, you could like imagine something happening to a family, you know.
Yeah. It was baseball coach John Altobelli, his wife. So the baseball coach and his wife and their daughter. And they had another. So there was husband, wife, baseball coach, his wife, their daughter that died. And they had more kids. And now they're foster kids. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, dude. Mother and daughter, and then another mother and daughter, and the other mother and daughter was probably the husband. I saw the interview too. It was the other husband that they were talking about. Yeah, so it was basically a whole family, a trio, and then another mother and her daughter. Yeah.
Man, dude, I'm just saying, like.
It's fucking
wild. You really forget that every second you have is a blessing, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, you just get so used to, like, thinking you're going to see the next. And I had a friend who's a close friend of hers, you know, their sister died, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the week before, you know? So, like, out of nowhere, like, she was a healthy, you know, 20-something-year-old. And so she was just saying, like, you know, like, she was already dealing with that emotion of trying to be more grateful and thankful for, like, you know, life, because you never know when it's gone out your hands. And she said then that happened, and it was just like, it was scary, you know.
Yeah,
she was saying.
Oh man, and yeah, man. For us, man, you brought it up, like me, Ryan, Vahan, like, you know how this was our guy, man. Like, this is the reason why we wanted to play basketball. Like, you know, like I still remember the first time I ever heard Kobe's name.
Yeah.
I remember every fucking, and I'm just appreciative that I saw, like, every game I saw, like, I was able to see what I saw. I remember every little detail, man. Like, being like, I remember, like, obviously, like, when I was a little kid, like, well, first of all, it was Jordan, right? Jordan, like, Space Jam was out. And then I remember watching Space Jam as a little kid, and I had, like, a Toon Squad jersey, Jordan. And Jordan was like, oh, you know, Jordan was the guy. And I remember, like, my cousin one time told me, like, oh, Kobe Bryant's gonna be better than Michael Jordan. And then I'm like 8 years old, 7, 8 years old. He's my older cousin.
Yeah.
The one that works for Sony now.
Yeah.
So I'm young. I'm believing everything's gonna say, like, oh, like, my older cousin told me Kobe's better than Jordan. I'm gonna believe him. You know, I think I'm a little kid.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, okay. And then I remember, like, getting my mom buying, like, fucking first ever Kobe jersey. I remember buying this video game. I remember, like, my mom took me to the store to buy the Kobe's video game, but, like, the clerk gave me an option between Kobe's game and Shaq had a game. Yeah. Like, no, I want Kobe's game. And I remember, like, just, like, fucking copying his moves and then playing Nintendo 64, like, with Kobe's NBA courtside. I don't know if you remember those games at all.
Yeah, like, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember just, like, fucking.
I you brought that up. Like, I was like, damn.
Yeah, dude.
That's back in the day.
Back in the day, Nintendo 64, man. You know, I remember, like, you know, playing that shit, like, all day and, like, practicing his moves, and then, like, playing in, like, the Paris League and beating Ryan's ass because he was whack. Well, man. So, now I'm thinking about it, I miss those days, man.
But that's what I meant to tell you too. It kind of made me say, I got to get back into watching it again, like, you know, like, because I can't miss, like,
these dudes
yeah,
are good,
some of these guys are so good, and yeah, you know, and I'm not even sitting here looking at like their legacy, their stories unfold, you know.
Luka Doncic,
I'm just letting it go by. Like, so I was like,
I'm glad. I saw Kobe twice in my life. I saw him at the 2000 parade after they won their first championship with Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember this day. My dad took me to the Laker parade. I remember, like, I think he picked me up so I can see. I was like 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I just remember, you know, how they come through in that bus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they come through and like driving through the whole downtown, right? For the parade. So I just remember like Kobe with a bucket hat, and then like, seeing him. And that was the first time I ever saw Kobe. That shit paused recording.
Oh. Man.
So that was the first time I ever saw him. That was 2000 Afro Kobe. And then I saw him at a preseason game, like 2000, the first year without Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
First year without Shaq, my dad took me to watch Kobe at the. He had preseason tickets, and he didn't play. He probably played only like 10 minutes. So I barely remember him playing. But that was the first time. That was the only time in my life I ever saw him actually like play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I got to see him with my own eyes.
Yeah.
You know, at least I got that chance to actually.
That's crazy. You know, it's weird. You know? That's crazy because a lot of people don't even have that. Like, like they just have him through a type of digital media. Yeah. Like they don't even actually know like it was a physical. Person ball of
Yeah.
Human.
I remember that wasn't that parade. That wasn't. I don't feel like for what I remember, it didn't feel like I was that far away from him. You know, so.
But see how you guys like you guys have like those good memories and all that. See, like my folks, they came from Chicago, so their team was Chicago. You know,
they're all about Jordan. Huh?
Yeah, so like when I got introduced to basketball, even though that wasn't part of my time, it was Jordan because they had all his tapes. You know, so like I watched his tapes. So when Space Jam came out, that was like even more dope for me. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, and then when Kobe came around, I think it was more so me like, cause like I said, like I always had to do. Oh, I'm gonna be the next Jordan. You know. And then here comes Kobe. Did, though. That was and then here comes Kobe. Yeah. So mine was kind of like, man, you taking. I was supposed to be that guy, you know. Yeah. I was supposed to be the next like one, you know. Yeah. And like, so it almost had to be like, I almost didn't want to like actually accept like what the greatness I'm witnessing, you know, because it was like, I can't because if it's really like what it is that I'm seeing, you know, then this is the next guy, you know, and not me, you know, even though I had no sort of claim towards that throne. like just looking back, I'm like fucking a delusional ass kid, you know, like because
we all were though. We all thought we could be these people. That's what makes them so special to us. Cause we like looked up to them, like they inspired us to like.
Well, I was supposed to be the next big thing after Jordan. That's what I was saying. That's what I was supposed to be, that guy that they're like, this is the next big thing. Yeah, like after Jordan. But nah, here comes Kobe Bryant, you know? And I was like, and it felt like so soon. like already, like what? Yeah. Like, damn, I didn't even stand a chance at that dream, you know? And like, and I don't know, yeah, like I said, like I didn't actually become a fan of like LA teams until like I decided like I'm not leaving California. Like I don't like it anywhere else. Like our weather is the best. Like, and it didn't make sense either too because like I like LA artists, you know. So it was like I always had to go against the crowd for some reason. I always tried to go against the crowd, stir shit up. Man, you know? Well, that's why everybody.
How old were you when your family came from Chicago to here?
I was young, man. I was in elementary, so.
Okay. You know what I remember? This is my first.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, other than that, I didn't have any connection towards like.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, and that's another thing. I mean, like, why am I like even during like Tupac and Biggie beefs? If people ask me like, who are you on? I would say Biggie. That's where I was born, so you know I gotta say that. Yeah, you know. But like, truthfully, I'm a West Coast guy. I'm not.
You grew up out here, yeah.
You know.
It's because your family. It's because your family was like, even though they moved out here, your family was still like a. Yeah,
they took the Chicago Bears. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so you go off a lot of times. That's all it is. You go off what your family likes, right? The only reason like Well, the only reason I'm a fucking like Raider fan and Dodger fan is probably because my family were.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's more. It's the memories behind them. Yeah. It's like it's the bond. You know.
Because
that's what I'm saying. And, yeah.
I liked the Bulls at first because of Jordan, and I liked the color red when I was a little kid. Like, so like red was my favorite color, and then the Bulls and Jordan and all that shit. And then I became a Laker fan just because like my family told me about Kobe.
Yeah.
And then they like the Lakers, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna like the Lakers too because my family does. And then I see this kid that like that's what's also another thing about Kobe is like. There's other, like, Shaq was on the team. But nobody, like, looks at Shaq like, I want to be like Shaq. It's because this motherfucker was, like, 7 feet tall. And, like, you can't be that guy. His game was ugly. Like, I don't want to say, like, ugly. Like,
no, like, it didn't have that certain finesse.
Yeah, it was just power. It was power.
I was going to say, his game was ugly because, like, that's kind of, like, what I liked about LeBron. Like, just seeing how powerful the athleticism of LeBron was coming in, you know? With Shaq, like you said, it's just strength. It's just, it's like force. Like, it's like Hercules.
I can't relate to that shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're like,
Kobe
like Hercules, like,
Kobe,
you know, like a big Hercules.
But Kobe was beautiful. Like, you saw, like, these moves and the crossover.
He was like the player you wanted to be.
On
he
people.
was the player, like, the player
and that's why we all gravitated to that. Like, I can do that.
Yeah,
I can
be that player.
I can be that guy. I can't be Shaq.
Yeah,
but I can be Kobe.
Smooth like that. Yeah,
he was so slick with it.
Yeah.
And then I think that's why we all like gravitated towards that, man. Like we saw he was cool, man. Like he was smooth. Took Brandy to the prom, like
man
with the afro. He was rapping and shit. Like he was
that guy, man.
He was that player, man. And like the fadeaway, the crossover, like dunking on people. Like Kobe was. Man, that's the reason why we say
and
Kobe.
He's for your hometown team.
Yeah.
Imagine that, man.
Yeah.
Imagine that, like getting Kobe. Not only getting Kobe, you're getting him on your hometown team.
Yeah.
Like, what a combination.
Yeah.
You know.
We're like, man, I can relate to that. Like, and then it's crazy, man. I think at this point now, like I can like learn to like I think I'm past the grieving stage. I was trying to get past the grieving stage, and I'm just like celebrating his life, man. Well, and I just try to relate it to like most of our legends, our geniuses, like die young, and I put Kobe in that. Like he was meant to die young, man. Like maybe he was so great for this world, he wasn't supposed to be here long.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's somebody like was so great, and so.
Now I'm thinking about like Tupac and Biggie and other great great genius minds that died young, and that's how I'm learning to accept it like that way. Like I'm trying to get around to celebrate his legacy, and he was such a smart genius mind that like he was meant to die young, and I'm trying, and that's how I'm trying to accept it.
Even if his death though is like, if his death even gave you he even gave in his death, from his greatness, like he was able to still do that to his fans. He left you guys with a great legacy, with he brought back those memories that they'll always be there, but like now they're even more and more sentimental to you guys, Like, even in his death, he still gave you guys something. He still gave the world something, you know? Man. He gave him, you gotta, really just forget all the petty shit that goes on in your life, exactly. like, for what? Like, that's all meaningless at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? It's just about, making smiles, making friends, living that good life of just, you never know, And
no,
so...
Exactly.
It's like, just enjoy your life, Just enjoy it, all the hurdles of it,
Yeah. Yes. Hey, man, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about it, but I think we're all gonna take that with us. And just Kobe for life, Mamba mentality. People are like. I saw a lot of people say I called the people I had problems with. I heard I saw 50 Cent say,
"Oh yeah.
I'm gonna live my life a different way." I'm gonna that pettiness. On Twitter, Kendrick Perkins went on Twitter. You know how Kendrick Perkins had a beef with KD, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I fucking like whatever, all that bullshit we had, like that differences we had, like, you know, I just want, like, I love you, like, everybody's like throwing like all that pettiness.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, even in the like, because to make something like that happen, you know, like that alone is a lot, you know.
Yeah. So everybody's like, man, what is it? You know, we're here for a short time, so like let's not waste any of this shit, man. All the bullshit, all the pettiness, all the like the little, like the people you're mad at, you know, your friends, family, like put that shit to the side.
Our time's always shorter than what we believe. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. No, it is, man.
No matter what number you believe you're gonna die at, it's always normally sooner than that, you know.
And, you know, in times like when somebody like this dies, you question it, right? You like why, like you question faith, like why would you do this? Like why, like you question your faith in God. You're like, why would you? Like, how can you do this, right? Then I started thinking about like this world. Before Kobe died, right? Like this world is in a state of like, you know, like everybody is arguing with each other. Everybody's like fucking like beefing with each other, you know,
out for their own selves.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pettiness going on. There's a lot of like arguments, disagreements, and a lot of hatred going on in the world today. And then maybe like God took Kobe away to like show that like we gotta put that shit to the side, you know, like you know, I mean, this maybe like this is what it took, you know. Hopefully the world becomes a better place because
wake
of
up
this.
call,
wake up call. Like we gotta stop fighting with each other. We gotta stop like, you know, bullshitting with each other and like and I don't know, man. Like it you feel like people are in this stage now when they're like, I'm gonna live my life to the fullest. I'm gonna like, you know, like have that Mamba mentality of like I'm gonna give it my all to what I'm doing, whatever it is in life. Whether,
that's what I'm saying. Like just
like for this podcast, like
he
you
left
just
a
feel
mentality
like,
for a part of his legacy. He left a mentality.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
you know,
and you just give it your all, and whatever you're doing in life, just give it your all, man. And that's how like maybe like God took him away to remind us like, you know, you guys are fucking up. You guys need a reminder, a wake up call. Like we're gonna take away. I'm gonna take away this great mind from you guys that like all he did in his life was like give everything like 100%, like to the fullest. Like he never like shortchanged anything. He never half-assed anything in his life. And then like, you know, you take something like that away to like be like, okay, now like you guys take that with you and like, you know, just like I don't know, man, like your life here, your time here on earth is short, so just go for it, man. And I think that's why he was taken away from us, to kind of remind us and put that in. We get lazy, we get like comfortable with our situation. We fucking people beef over Twitter, over Instagram, over petty shit. We fight with each other, and then this is like a shock to the world to be like, just like, you know, none of this shit matters.
Like self-reflection on, you know, your actions and like, you know, what it is that's really tying your life down and holding you, you know, captive from, you know, having a more happy and blissful life, you know. And I don't want to say like, you know, thinking on it more like God took him away, you know what I'm saying? Because like if you just think about the way he died, you know, like if he was gonna take somebody, why that way? Why in that type of manner, that form and fashion, you know? So I don't know, maybe just look at it more as like more so he didn't intervene and we just I don't know. It was just more so of a loss due to like you said, somebody who never half-assed anything in life. Somebody made a half-assed decision, you know.
Yeah.
Like the whole irony of it all, you know. Yeah. Somebody who showed work ethic was really gonna take you all the way there to the top, you know. Having that mentality of can't stop, that slow, that climb, that fast build, you know what I'm saying? That's still going hard at it, you know. Was to fall to something so sudden, you know. Yeah. It's like the whole irony and you know his legacy period, overall ending story, you know, that just. You try to you try to say like this couldn't just happen just to happen, like something like this had to be a purposeful, you know, like reasoning for this. But
you try to put a reason to it, and I mean that's all you can do, man.
I'll put this like when I edit it and clean it up, I'll put it on the live story on Instagram, so I don't have to go to like the YouTube. Yeah. So I'll put it on the live one. Not like go live with it, but like, you know how like when you upload videos and stuff, like Instagram TV or whatever, yeah.
R.I.P. Kobe, Mamba forever.
Yeah, so rest in peace, Kobe. You know, he really had a legacy that was more than basketball, you know, and that's all you can really do in life is, you know, live to your utmost best self and try to just leave something behind that people could still gain from even after you're gone. And that's what you did. So rest in peace, Kobe.
Mamba forever.
Gigi and the rest of the families
Kobe
as well.
Forever.
R.I.P. Lakers for life. We out.
Mamba for life.